I mean, Tim, I just have no idea. Look, he might have all the branches of government. He's feeling extraordinarily empowered. He's feeling totally vindicated. There will be no checks on the appointees to his cabinet, to judicial postings. At the same time, like my impression of him when we did go down there in July and just watching him over these past 10 years is that, he does see himself as a man of the people. He wants to be liked. It's extraordinarily important to him to be liked and respected and admired. And I don't think that impulse goes away now that arguably he's not going to ever face election again. So when it comes to some of the things that he's proposed, mass deportations or tariffs that could, according to economists, raise the rate of inflation. He's not going to have any practical moderating influences, but, he doesn't want to, I don't think it's in his nature to want to do broadly unpopular things. So I do wonder if that will end up being a check on some of his instincts. Although, the one thing that we heard from him on Tuesday night was he said, promises offered, promises will be fulfilled. So I do expect him, to come into office looking to immediately put points to the board and to fulfill some of the promises that he made on the campaign trail.
Look, I'm not going to ask you to give up what you're talking to your reporters about in your editorial meetings, but you have a job that requires you to think pretty clearly about what things will look like in the next few months, because you're responsible for assigning stories and understanding what people are going to be talking about in the future. How are you thinking about covering the president-elect?
We're going to be looking very precisely at the challenges and battles ahead for the new administration, and we have reached out into the Bloomberg newsroom around the world to look at what is ahead in Europe, in China, in immigration, cryptocurrencies, on Wall Street, and in tech. We were thinking of it in terms of the battles ahead, and it'll be interesting now because I'm not so sure there will be battles. Trump isn't going to have a lot of political opposition if he does control all three branches of Congress. But, certainly we saw today Gavin Newsom calling a special legislative session in California. A lot of the states girding to try to put checks on what the administration will do, either legislatively or in the courts. And so that's our approach, to cover it carefully and to try to look forward rather than back and look at, what the Trump agenda will look like and what it will mean for business.